What's up, guys? Flash Frame here, and today, tonight, actually, it's midnight my time, 4 minutes after, and as you can probably see from the title, I just got back from seeing the new Child's Play. Now, I've done a couple of videos on the channel between now and when the trailer came out, and I expressed some concerns, but remained hopeful, especially when the big announcement of Mark Hamill being Chucky was made, and but I had some reservations about the film, especially regarding the fact that Don Mancini's not involved, and the situation regarding the original rights holders versus Orion and everything going on there. I'm proud to say, or glad to say, really, that yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna put it out there right now. The new Child's Play, it's pretty good. Um, if you're going in wanting a beat for beat retelling of the original, you're not going to get that. Obviously, I think most everyone has come to understand that this is a very different story than the original, and for the better, in some ways. Uh, so I'm going to try to avoid spoiler territory with this review. But I wanted to come home and get my thoughts out on video and to you guys, give my kind of opinion. As a longtime Child's Play fan, I mean, I'm even warming up on Seed, which I don't really care for Seed, but I'm kind of starting to warm up on it as kind of the the funny one of the family and all that. But this new one does some things that I really, really like. And there's a couple of challenges to overcome when you're doing a remake of something like Child's Play, where the focus of the original was a mystical kind of supernatural situation. And now you go, okay, I want to remove the supernatural element and I want to throw in a technological element. And that would be very easy to mess up. And I don't think they mess it up. I don't think they mess it up at all here. I think what really surprised me the most about this movie is how well we get to know all of these characters, including Chucky. We get to know Chucky personally, in a way, that surprised me. That they really try to foster for you to care about these characters. In the first 30 minutes or so of the movie is devoted to introducing these characters and really kind of fleshing them out and making them likable, or in some cases not likable. They really do a good job of humanizing these characters and helping you to buy into the world. This is a world that is ruled essentially by a mega corporation, you could say, with Caslin. I mean, it's not some cyberpunk dystopia, mind you, but it's, there's this corporation called Caslin Corporation that's very much an allegory for like Amazon and Google. And they're just putting out smart home products. Like, that's their big thing. And Chucky's another one of these smart home products. And there's little things throughout the movie that made me laugh and made me care about the characters and care about the situation that I cannot get into because I don't want to spoil anything. Um, but like one of the early things that I found kind of hilarious is we're introduced to Buddy, the Buddy doll, which is Chucky. They changed it from the good guy doll, and we're introduced to the Buddy doll in a commercial, which has been the viral Caslin Corporation commercial that's gone all over the place. Except for the fact that by the time we get Buddy, they're already unveiling Buddy 2. So Chucky is already outdated by the time that we get to Chucky. And that's something that I really liked because we're taking the base concept of Andy and his mom, a young mother with her only child, young single mom, working her ass off in retail to provide for her son. And her son's a little different. This Andy has a hearing aid, whereas the original Andy was a little more, I don't know. The original Andy seemed like there was kind of something going on before you get to the fact that Chucky's doing all the killing in the original. But in this one, I mean, our Andy's got a very obvious disability with his hearing aid, and it really plays up the technological aspect, which I thought was a really solid way to go. And if you go in expecting just your typical killer doll movie, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised in how kind of to a degree grounded this feels. And I think that that's a testament to the writers who and the producers who worked on it, working on this film. They got some great talent. They got some, they got just across the board great talent. The Chucky. Okay, let's talk about the doll because the doll has been such a big thing all over the internet. Everybody's been going on about Chucky looks terrible, Chucky looks terrible, Chucky looks terrible in the new Child's Play. Chucky, once you buy into the fact that of what's going on, this Chucky's design is absolutely fine. In fact, the big cartoony kind of features of the doll are intended to be endearing. It's supposed to be kind of a creepy cute. Which even some of the characters are like, okay, the doll's kind of cute. And in some instances, genuinely, Chucky is kind of cute in this movie. Which surprised the hell out of me, because I'm like, to be fair, the design was a little off-putting at first. And then I warmed up as the marketing kind of ramped up. I warmed up to the design the more I saw it. And now that I've seen it in action, I can buy into why it looks the way it does. It looks the way it does because they had to make something big enough to handle all the, the motivators and animatronic pieces that move everything to give him the expressions that he has. And this doll is surprisingly expressive. Like, I was really shocked at just how expressive this animatronic was. It worked really, really well. So the doll is fine. Once you see it moving around, once you see it interacting with Andy and the other kids, which that's not really a spoiler. That information's been out for a while, but There are other kids in the movie. They're going for a little bit more of a Stranger Things vibe. I could definitely feel that. There's a little bit more of the kids working to try to stop Chucky because the adults aren't entirely believing the situation. And it's a solid movie. It's a solid film, and that's more than I was expecting from a situation with the studio that's as weird as it is. This film is solid. The There's not any major complaints I have about this movie, and I was shocked because I was actually super expecting to be able to go in and just be like, yeah, this is terrible. They completely lost the soul of Child's Play, and in a way, I can see this being more frightening because the horror, it's not supernatural, right? Like, it's playing on our fears of AI and AI gone rogue, and our consumer, again, much like the classic Child's Play, this is kind of a commentary on our consumerist culture. And it harkens enough to the classic that those of us that really, really enjoy the original Child's Play can go, oh yeah, okay, I get, they're pulling that. They're definitely, they know. They know that we are going to go see this movie. So they've got, there's tidbits in there. There's definitely little tidbits of characters and names and specific lines of dialogue and things that come from the original. But it's a wholly unique thing. And I think that this is a movie you could probably throw a different name on it, right? Like, you could probably throw a different title on it and be okay. But I think that Child's Play fits this just fine. It's young kid, killer doll. The major overtones are there, but also it takes the concept and just it grounds it because we get rid of the mystical voodoo side of things. And in doing so, we actually open the story up in a way to tell some things that we didn't get in the original. So we have time now because we're not filling up time with explaining Charles Lee Ray's backstory. We're not filling up time with watching Chucky go after his the people that did him wrong on that last job, going after his voodoo priest and friend, going after Eddie Caputo. We get to skip that, and instead we get to have time with Andy, and we get to have time with his mom, and we get to see what the home situation is like and why Andy has kind of the issues that he has. We get to see the external friends group that Andy is starting to grow with, and we get to expand this world a little more and understand like what Kaslan's place is in the world and how the world kind of works around the circumstances of this, this smart doll and these smart hubs and things of that nature. It's also quite funny. I was laughing a good amount of the time. There are moments that are really, really endearing for both Andy and Chucky. Like they made me care about Chucky. And when I'm watching classic Child's Play, yeah, I care about Chucky, but it's a oh, I want to see who he's going to kill next, right? with this Child's Play, I was actually feeling for Chucky as a character, and I was, I'm still curious as to who's going to get it next. Of course, it's a fun slasher movie, but I cared about the characters. I cared about the detective, Detective Mike. I cared about Andy. I cared about Andy's mom. I care about the other kids. Whereas in a lot of Child's Play, you're kind of like, oh yeah, that motherfucker, that dude's gonna get wrecked, right? Like, or, this dude's annoying and Chucky doesn't like that, so Chucky's gonna kill this motherfucker, right? Like, we expect certain things out of Child's Play, and some of those things are still there, absolutely, but they were able to take and endear me to the character in a way that, as much as I love classic Chucky, I don't feel bad for Charles Lee Ray. He's like, I understand, he's a killer. He's a bad person. I shouldn't be rooting for him, but I'm rooting for him because he's the star of this slasher film. With the new Child's Play, you get more emotionally invested in this Chucky, or at least I did. And I think that's a credit to the film. So when I sit down and I rank this with all of the Child's Play films, I would say that this is in my top 3. And my top 3 would be the original Child's Play 2 and this one. As much fun as 3 and Bride and Seed and Cult and Curse, I might place it 4th because Curse was really good too. I liked Curse of Chucky, but Curse of Chucky has some issues that I don't have with the new Child's Play. So I would really, like, if I'm going to give it an out of 10, right, I'm going to give this movie a 7.5, 8 out of 10, give or take. Whereas I rank the original Child's Play as a 9, as well as Child's Play 2, I rank it a 9. With Curse, I rank it at about an 8, and Child's Play 3, I rank it at a 7. So this is at a 7.58 for me. Quite enjoyable film. Definitely recommended that you check it out if you haven't already. And yeah, feel free, guys, to comment down below. Let me know if you want me to get into a full spoiler breakdown of this movie, because I have a lot to talk about with this movie, and I really don't want to spoil anything for those who have yet to go see it. So, again, 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me personally. As a longtime Chucky fan, yeah, I recommend this. I highly recommend this movie. It was a fun ride. And it does things right that I was certain they were going to fuck up. And they don't fuck it up. So there it is, guys. 7.5 out of 10. New Child's Play. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. And comment down below, again, if you want me to talk more about this, or if you've got something else that you want to bring up that you want to see me talk about. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.